Hello YouTube once again.
Hey guys.
This is Ferguson and this is my wife BB. We coming here to you. Just talking about narcissism. I've done some narcissist videos in the past, during the past couple of years, just with my experience and this is just the real me, the real experience. Dealing with a narcissist has opened my eyes. It's just given me another level of spiritual awakening. And I'm hearing, I do my videos now with my wife because, to me, she's symbolic of me crossing over, crossing over the hurt. A lot of my life since I've started the healing process have been restored. That process broke me. It broke me good. And I can tell you, I'm a relatively strong person. I just want people out there to know that, listen, it's okay. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna get over it. Sit down and receive this game. Let this game filter through you, because it's one thing to write it in a book or a psychology book, about narcissism and dealing with emotional hurt. But you won't know unless you experience that thing firsthand. And anyone that has been a victim of a narc knows it's just something different about, years of dealing with these kind of people. I don't care what you say, it's just something about having dealt with a narcissist that literally is like no other experience. It's like kind of one of those things where I say, listen, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't want the person that I hate to experience this type of thing, because it was that off the wall. It was that crazy. It was that devastating. But again, typically I kind of been on a pattern of just, giving you tools to defeat the narcissist. But today I want to take a little sidebar, because somebody in the comment section, they took me there. They took me down memory lane. They took me back to some crazy stuff. And I gotta tell you this story. So if I would, the title of this would be the dangers of the narcissist, because these people are dangerous. Not only, mainly they're emotionally dangerous, but they can also be dangerous in other ways. They can be mechanically dangerous. They can be physically dangerous. They're plotting, they're conniving. But someone in the comment section kind of told me about some of the abuse that they dealt with and how the narcissist was trying to set them up. And it took me to my situation of what I was dealing with. I can tell you, a couple of years back, probably about 2000, I want to say 15, when I began to realize that I was dealing with a narcissist. Listen, narcissist is different stages to this thing. In the beginning, just from a general standpoint, and some of you probably know this, in the beginning it's the love bombing phase. And then at a certain point, they can discard you. And I was at the discard phase, because I figured out who the narcissist really was. I figured out that, listen, that about 75% of who they were and what they told me was an utter lie, utter deception. You know what I'm saying? But when it really started hitting the fan was when the police were being called on me. And I said to myself, because at the time, I've never physically hit her or touched her. As a matter of fact, throughout the relationship, she probably had more of the anger. I'm more of a laid back person. I'm not telling you I'm just a docile creature, but it takes a lot to get me riled up, because I'm a very calm and collected person. But the narcissist that I was dealing with, just they were upset, and they would call the police on me, and as a matter of fact, I got so shooken by her, especially me being a black man. Let's just be 100. Us brothers ain't too comfortable with the police coming out like that. But she started threatening to call the police. And one day she called the police. Not only did she call the police, but she lied to the police. And one of my relatives heard her lying to the police. Now, good thing for me, like, you know, I worked as a social worker in child welfare. Like, what is a social worker in child welfare? You know, beating on somebody. Like, I work for the state, I work for the government. Like, my, you know what I'm saying, my record have to be relatively clean. So to make a long story short, like, she called the police, and, like, you know, the officers came out, and I knew one of the officers. Matter of fact, I knew it was about 4 of them came out. I knew 2 of them. And one of them was a lady that interviewed her. And good thing for me that I knew this woman, because when I first started child welfare, when I would move kids, sometimes the police would come and escort me. And I was familiar with her, and she was like totally shocked. And she pulled me out on the sidebar. She said, listen, like, if we didn't know who you were, if we didn't have history with you, like, we probably would take you to jail. You know, and they said, like, listen, we don't see any signs that you assaulted her. But, you know, typically in these situations, the man would go to jail. They were just being real with me. So, you know, they told a narcissist, like, hey, if you feel so threatened, we don't see any signs of, you know, abuse or assault, then, you know, if you feel that threatened, then leave. So the police left, and I mean, the narcissist, I asked the narcissist, I say, why would you lie on me? I never hit you. I never touched you. Never in all this time did I ever put a hand on you. And the narcissist just, she literally went into a narcissist rage and started verbally attacking me. So I just let it go, you know. And I just want to say, babe, have you ever dealt with something physically abusive, or someone in that, you know, realm or scope trying to hurt you, physically hurt you in such a way?
Yeah, I had someone who I allowed it to be in my life a little bit too long. And when I got to the fed up stage, I was numb. I was completely numb. And I was so numb, I was calm when I said, I'm leaving you. And I remember being dragged, actually, I don't think I've ever told you this, but being dragged by my neck to we were in the bedroom, from the bed to the closet. And I calmly said, if you kill me, I am leaving you. And if you don't kill me, I'm still leaving you. Just as calm as I'm talking right now. And he looked at me, he knew at that point it was done, we were over, and he left the house. So thank God it didn't have to go to the drastic measures. But yes, I remember, but he was a narcissist to the max. And I just really needed to get out because I felt alone. I didn't have anybody to run to, and I was just tired.
They isolate you. That's one of the tactics. They isolate you.
And I was just tired. I was just tired of being sick and tired. And so, if it was gonna take death, as long as I wasn't with you, I was gonna be okay with that. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, just like you said, I mean, the narcissists, like, you know, they're. Sometimes they can become physically a threat, you know, so that's just something you got to be mindful of as you're dealing with the narcissist, as you're trying to exit us, as you're trying to make certain moves. Like, yes, they're controlling people, and when things are not in their control, they become ruthless. Like, and I would have never thought in all these years that this woman would call the police on me. Never in my mind would I have imagined that. But it happened. And not only that, I'm gonna tell you another incident. Like, you know, when I figured out who she was and I started calling her out, like, you know, that's when a police incident happened. And then another incident happened. You know, like, I used to work real late, and I would have to take an hour commute back home. And it's like I started seeing just strange cars come to the house and, you know, like, drop her off, and, you know, just stuff I've never seen before. And I was like, what in the world? Like, I've never seen these people. You've never told me about these people. And then one night I was coming home, and it's like a car started following me, almost about to run me off the road. And I was like, it was so strange. And then what put the icing on the cake, around the same time period, like, I had a Buick. And I had a mechanic in Miami, and, you know, he pretty much he's been working on all my cars for the last 10 years. So when I took my car to him, you know, I mean, he speaks mainly Spanish. So his wife called me one day, and she started crying. She's like, who would try to do this to you? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I recall, because like, you know, at my house, I don't lock my doors. You know, sometimes I guess that's just the macho ego in me. You know, I don't always lock my doors. And you know, the mechanic's wife was saying like somebody manipulated the wires under your seat in a fashion that would cause the car to catch on fire. And I know he knew what he was talking about, because he's like a mechanic for GM for that same car. And he said whoever did this knew what they were doing, that these wires were shorted, and that your car could have caught on fire on the highway. She's like, this is a professional job. And at first I was in denial, but I thought about it. I thought about how the police were being called on me. I thought about how I was ran off the road. I thought about how all these new cars of new people are coming around my home all of a sudden that I never knew about. I never seen this person really have outside friends besides maybe 2 people who didn't even live in the country. All of a sudden, these different vehicles are dropping this person off at my house, because we're literally in the house at war. And I said to myself, I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten into? And I realized, like, you know, the narcissist can be dangerous when they lose control, when they don't have control. Yet fight them, defeat them, but also be mindful that these jokers can become ruthless. So you just need to have a safety plan. You need to understand and be aware of your surroundings, because they will do some nasty, dirty stuff and won't think twice and won't care about what they do or what happens to you. And let me tell you something, it's just different things were happening. And like, you know, the narcissist was saying, oh, you're schizophrenic, you're crazy. It's like they were literally like, you know, like saying all these negative things. But I realized why they were saying it, because they had an agenda. Like that narcissist, they wanted to get custody of the house. So guess what? They're gonna do those things. And when the police thing didn't work, it's like, I believe that the other measures and other tactics were taken out, because at the end of the day, again, these jokers are ruthless. They don't love you. They cannot love you. You are a simple object to them. And if you want to see them get ruthless and get crazy, start stepping out of the box. Start exposing them. But be careful when you exposing them, because they're gonna retaliate in some fashion. I'm not telling you that all of them are gonna go try to hang you or kill you or nothing like that. I'm just telling you, be careful, be mindful, because I would have never imagined, like, I was like, how in the world somebody changed the wiring under my seat? Why? Because you don't care about me. You don't love me. Like, and I figured out who you were. I was awoke. So listen, if you get woke on a narcissist and you let them know and you verbal about it, what happens, baby?
Like you said, that narcissistic rage, it just happens.
Have you ever dealt with it?
Yeah, that one issue though. Like I tried to learn from every mistake that I make, and pay attention to like the characteristics of people and the whole dynamic of the relationships. I don't have to repeat that anymore. But it was so scary that when he left that night, I came to myself, because I don't think I was even in my own, in my own body. But when I came to myself, I said, I have to go. So the next day I left majority of my furniture. I grabbed my clothes, I changed the lock, and I left. And it took him maybe 10 years to even see me. I disappeared because I just didn't know what was next with him, because he had flipped the script, and I had never seen him like that before in my life.
That's who he was the whole time, and that's what you got to realize with the narcissist. Like, that's who they really are. Like, they're really evil people. Like, they're really bad people that don't have a conscience. A narcissist don't have a conscience. Everything is based on their agenda and their hunger to get what they want, to be in control, to deceive you, to follow out their agenda. That's what it's all about. It's never about loving you. It's never about giving to you. It's never about imparting it to you. It's never about being a partner. It's all about them. So again, I had to do this video because like somebody took me back down memory lane, and I was like, my goodness, I was in the fight of my life. Right? And I was living in the same house with the narcissist, and like, the narcissist was on this side of the house, I was on this side of the house, and it was just a really, really, really dark and ugly time in my life. And when I look back at who the narcissist presented themselves to be in the beginning, I was like, this is a totally different person. But I came on here to tell you that because listen, that person that's pursuing you, that person you talking to, like examine who they are. And listen, if you already in a relationship with a narcissist, like the outcome is not gonna be good. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They're gonna make your life a living hell.
Absolutely.
Get as far away from them as possible. And let me tell you, when you separate from them, you'll heal. You'll find love. You know, you'll come back to yourself, and you'll be strengthened. You'll grow. Your business will launch. You know, your career and your education, it's gonna take off. But until you separate from them and get them from out of your nucleus, you're gonna have some problems. So again, anything you want to say, babe?
No, we're just here to help you identify the narcissistic characteristics and to help you find a way out. We are praying for you. It's no joke. This is real life. I wish people were talking about it more back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So we know how to identify things, but it is what it is, and we're here today to help you, to tell you that it's gonna be okay, but you gotta use some tools to get you up out of that thing, okay?
So again, you know, thank you all for coming on this video. And again, you know, just take heed to it. Yeah. Take heed to the message. You know, I want you to be safe out there. And like I said, I don't want you to be afraid or fearful.
No fear.
Just be mindful
Absolutely.
of the capability and the ruthlessness of these people, especially when they perceive that they've been exposed or they're losing control.
Yes.
So again, until next time, we're going to continue on these videos. We're going to continue dropping this game. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. Yeah. You're going through it. You're going to get through it. It's going to get better. Give it some time. Mm-hmm. It took me 4 years to really come to a place where I could say, okay, I'm decently healed. And even now I'm coming back to myself. Like some of my gifts are starting to activate again. I'm starting to write again. I'm starting to love again. And that's where you need to be. And it's going to happen, but you got to take that hard step and step out of that and step away from it. And it may take sacrifice. It may take you, downgrading your lifestyle. It may take you losing things, losing family, losing friends, losing church people. You know what I'm saying? It may take those sacrifices. But listen, I'm here. I'm going to keep pumping out these videos because I want you strong. We're going to make it through it. So until next time, Ferguson and BB signing off.
Bye.